How's everyone doing today? I'm be doing Certified Menace on Pennywise in It Chapter 2. I already recorded 20 minutes of this, but my mic was muted the whole time, so I'm going to try it again. So the first one, the first scene we get into, where I have run down on my phone, we open up on a gay couple in Derry, Maine. They're at the fair and, they're just playing games. They're minding their own business. They're not really doing anything. It's just that when they get spotted by a group of homophobic rugrats just kissing and tonguing down, one of them just seems to have a problem with it. He goes up to them and he's like, "What's so fucking romantic, huh? Two gay guys, I fucking hate that shit." So he just like slaps the drink out of one of their hands, and then they're walking along and they come across the group, and the group basically tell them to fuck off. They call them the homophobic slur. Then the gay couple, they go to the bridge and they're basically just chilling there as well. And then the group follows them to the bridge. The group has been hired by some fucking homophobic lord or some shit to go take these guys out. They're like the ops or some shit. So they're at the bridge and one of them tries to leave. Mind you, they're like surrounded, so I don't think you're going to try and leave. If you were to try and leave, they'd probably just push you back and forth and around like a pinball. And then one of them starts chatting this shit. I don't know, it's a really weird way of his shit talking. He basically says, "Oh yeah, do you want me to like strip down and all? I can get naked for you. I can start messing with my nipples if that's what you want." I don't know what bro was trying to go for, but one of them sort of just like wants him to stop yapping. So he clocks him in the face. Green shirt guy, so the pink shirt guy is the one that was talking his shit. So green shirt guy charges at the same guy. He gets floored, and now they're both on the ground. Pink shirt guy, he tries to get his inhaler, but then the dude that knocked him out, he doesn't really believe in inhalers. He's never heard of inhaler, so he sort of just takes that shit from him and just chucks it away. And then pink shirt guy, he gets clocked in the face. They basically both start getting the shit kicked out of them. Even the little evil munchkin that slapped the drink out of their hand even kicks them a few rounds. So then they have a great idea. They basically pick up the pink shirt guy, bring him to the edge of the bridge, and they throw him off the bridge. Yeah, and then they just run away. So then green shirt guy, obviously worried about his boyfriend, he goes down underneath the bridge to see that he's been cheating on him with Pennywise the dancing clown. Pennywise has him. And Pennywise basically just takes a big chomp out of the guy's armpit like it's a chicken nugget meal or something. So we cut back to Mike, who's the only one that's never left Derry, Maine. He just wanted to stay here. He really likes to live there or some shit. So he calls the Losers Club, basically telling them, we can come back down and Pennywise is back. By the way, he's touching more kids and bringing them to his basement. So we have to, teach him. We need to bring him to our basement. So basically he starts ringing him up. And then when he rings up Stanley, Stanley just like kills himself. Yeah. Stanley gets the phone call and he just goes to the bathtub and just cuts himself because he really hates it, I guess. So then we cut back to the group. They're at a Chinese restaurant, they're celebrating being together. It's like, "Oh, we're about to go kill Pennywise again, let's go." And then basically they have these fortune cookies, and these fortune cookies, they have random ass words in them because when they crack it open, there's just a bunch of random ass words. And then Beverly opens up her fortune cookie and it says Stanley, and then they manage to spell out a sentence that says, "Guess Stanley couldn't cut it," which Pennywise is a bit slow because Stanley could cut it. He cut himself. He was able to cut it. Retard. So then the cookies start spazzing out. They start tweaking out. I don't know if the Chinese put fent in these or whatever, because they start, breaking open. Multiple creatures come out of them. One of them is like a baby with a fucking fly body. That's some failed abortion. And then another eye hops out of a fortune cookie. It's literally just an eyeball. It starts slithering. And then one of them has like a wing. It starts flapping about. Then the fucking bowl turns into a volcano. And it starts like overflow with like lava and shit. And lava basically starts to burn everything. And then Mike's brilliant plan is to start saying to himself, "It's not real. It's not real." And then he grabs a chair and starts smashing the fucking table. Like he's just seen Henry Bowers lying on the fucking table, just like wanking to him, making fun of his parents' deaths. So he basically just starts hitting the table, screaming "It's not real" over and over again, and it's actually pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. So we cut to Vicky, who's at a boring ass baseball party, or not baseball party, baseball game that our mom took her to. She basically just asked, "Yo, can we leave? This is really boring. I don't really like seeing men with wooden sticks out around balls. It's kind of gay as fuck." And she's like, "Honey, I've been working full time all week this morning. I also have to, raise you, and you exist, so that's already another like stressful piece of shit on my mind. So can we please just sit down here and look at men hit balls with sticks? So much fun." So then she gets bored and a firefly flies onto her teddy. It leads her to like the underneath the seats of the stadium that they're at, and the firefly gets caught by Pennywise in the darkness. So then basically they're having a little conversation. She kind of clocks that Pennywise isn't really a nice mofo, so she tries to leave, but then Pennywise activates his little bitch boy mode and starts crying. It says, "Oh yeah, no one wants to play with the clown anymore. Everyone makes fun of me." Motherfucker, your forehead's bigger than mine. Your hairline goes back to fucking halfway your head. No wonder people are making fun of you. You have a 5 head. So he promises to blow away this like red mark that she has on her face, and she has to get super close to Pennywise. Ooh, yeah, you have to get really close. What's Pennywise gonna do? Give you a kiss and give you a bigger red mark? So he basically says he'll do it on the count of 3. But when after counting 2, he sort of just like loses all brain functions and just goes vegetable mode. He just sort of just starts drooling at her, like he's really getting really hungry. He's really fantasizing about her being a fucking burger, and then just takes a huge chomp out of her. And then we see, then we get to Beverly, who shows up to her apartment. Basically, what the Losers Club are doing now is they're going around collecting their tokens to make the ritual of Chode to put Pennywise back in the vases with your grandma's ashes. So she shows up to her old apartment building. She shows up to the apartment. It's owned by an old woman, and she's sound out. She's pretty fucking chill. She's like any elderly grandma chill and will force fucking tea down your throat, because Beverly rejects her tea, but she's like, "Nah, I'm making you tea. That's that." So that kind of would give me a strong feeling that she would like spike her tea or some shit. But Beverly's just looking around her apartment. She finds the poem that Ben wrote her, and she's looking at a picture of the grandma and her dad has a really weird ass smile, so her dad must be Pennywise or whatever. But then out of the darkness, a big, tall, lanky elderly prostitute just comes out of the fucking darkness and just starts running at her, and then she runs towards the door, and then she turns around. It's just a big ass hallway. She's in a completely different building now, and the door opens up. There's some guy that's just saying to himself, "Run, run, run." He's warning her about his tweak attacks when he snorts coke. So he basically just like claws his face and starts going crazy, and then she gets out of the building, turns around. The building was fucking abandoned the whole time. No one was living there except for rats, mice. Then we cut to Richie, who's chilling at a bench after being called haha, you're gay, lol, by Henry Bowers in an arcade. He's there crying, and then the big ass statue in Derry, Maine, the big lumberjack statue, roars at him, breaks the bench, and just proceeds to chase and starts to fucking try to get him with this big ass like fire poker or whatever, and it's about to stab him, but then it just disappears last second. So then we cut to Richie, who's like in regular adult form now, and some guy hands him out a flyer to like a gay orgy or some shit, because the guy walking by says to him, "See you there, handsome." And it's like, damn, he really is bricked up for Richie. So then Richie looks at his flyer and says, "In loving memory of Richie." I'm thinking, wait, that's not right. I'm still alive. I'm in this corporeal realm. So Richie spots Pennywise sitting on the shoulder, and Pennywise basically starts chatting to him like an old friend or some shit. He's like, "Hey, do you want to play Street Fighter? Yeah, let's just come. I have PlayStation 5. I've PlayStation Plus, like, so I'll have Street Fighter." So then he says, "Oh yeah, you don't want to play Truth or Dare though." So because Richie's gay, and Pennywise just starts singing to him, like, "I know your dirty secret, your little dirty secret." So then he floats down to Richie's level. Richie tries to close his eyes. He tries to imagine this shit ain't real. This shit ain't real. But this is literally like an LSD trip, except he didn't take LSD and it's just happened to him regularly. Because he opens his eyes, Pennywise just sort of tweaks at him, fucking shakes his face, and Richie runs away. And then Pennywise just sort of says, "Come back and play with the clown. Come back and play with Krusty the clown and his crusty ass." So his face just starts to like change and form into like I think it's supposed to look like the woman from the painting in the first film. So we cut back. So we cut to Bill, who's at his old street where he used to live, and he hears his brother from the sewer drain telling him, "Don't leave me, Bill. Don't leave me again to get eaten by this piece of shit that came from a different universe." So he thinks his brother's still alive. Idiot, bro. We confirmed literally last film your brother's dead. So he tries to go in and he sees two hands in the darkness. They're basically like basically out as in like, take me, you can take me home now. So Bill reaches in, grab Billy to grab Georgie, and as he reaches in, when he reached in, a monster hand also reaches in. He's like, hey, you're coming in with us. So then a bunch of babies start multiplying. They try to fucking grab his ass, but then Bill pulls his arm out and he got the paper boat that he made for Georgie. So we cut to Ben, who's basically, after being abused and slapped about by his schoolmates, they call him fat ass, they call him tub of lard, they call him any fat name in the book, really. Only Beverly is it's only her and Beverly, and she just takes out smoke because fuck smoking policy, right? So then basically they're just having their conversation, and he's like, "Oh, do you think we'll still get to hang out one roll there?" And then she's like, "Who gives a shit? As long as me and you get to hang out." She holds his hands as well, like she's literally giving him all the signs. She's giving him all the jigsaw pieces. All he has to do is just put them together and complete it. So he tries to lean in for kids, but then she friend zones this shit, and I'm thinking, buddy, hang on. I only meant as friends, okay? I only see you as my little brother who keeps eating up the fridge every night, alright? I didn't mean that we're gonna be fucking. So then she starts laughing and saying, "Oh, you're disgusting. You're a slob." And then he turns away embarrassed, and in her head, she literally turns into like Ghost Rider because her head catches a flame. So then he runs out the classroom, and she runs after him singing the fucking poem that he wrote to her in the first movie. He tries the front entrance to the school, but it's chained up, and then he runs to his locker, hides in there. But Pennywise is also in there, also hiding from Beverly, and he says, "Kiss me, fat boy." So then he hops out of the locker. Pennywise also gets out. I can't exactly remember what he says to her. I just remember him rage baiting the fuck out of Ben, just saying, "Oh, you'll never get with Beverly. You'll always stay fat. Your dick is small. Your ball sack's deflated." I have no idea. So then Ben just runs away. So we got to Eddie, who's in the pharmacy, and I can't exactly remember what his token was. I don't know. He's just there at the pharmacy because you remember that one time some bitch that worked at front door just rolled a loser on his cast. So he is at the pharmacy. He hears his mom's voice in the basement of the pharmacy. So he goes down. No worker absolutely gives a shit that he goes down there as well. They probably just want him to be taken. So then he walks down into the basement, and he walks to his curtains where his mom, and he opens the curtains, and his mom is strapped to a chair, and then on the other side is their doctor ready to give her a prostate. So he's like chained to a pipe above them. So basically he's on a timer because this guy, he's walking towards his mom while chained to a pipe, but every so now and again there'll be like a little little ridges on the pipe that'll just like block the monster temporarily, and basically Eddie has to unstrap her mom before the zombie comes towards her and starts licking her all over. So then he couldn't do it because he's a big pussy, so then he runs away. So then he runs away as a kid. And now this is him as an adult. We're back with him as an adult. He's back at the same place. He opens the car and nothing's there. He turns around. He gets jump scared by the same fucking Dr. Sin's zombie that killed his mom, or in the hallucination killed his mom. So they basically start tussling. The guy pushes Eddie up against his shelf trying to lick him because he thinks he's ice cream. So then Eddie kind of pokes his eye out and it fucking squirts everywhere like a pimple. So then he pushes the monster back onto the shelf and he starts choking him out, saying, "Hey, fuck you! Fuck you!" So then the monster, instead of drinking milk, what he drinks is gasoline for his calcium, because he starts throwing that shit all over Eddie, and Eddie just starts running away. He looks like he crawled out of a septic tank. So then we cut to Eddie, who follows this kid into the funhouse because he's like that now. He's into minors. No, I'm kidding. Earlier on, when after he got his token from Georgie, there's this other kid. And for some reason, I don't know why, Bill just really cares about this kid. He started crashing out on the kid and all. He's thinking, "Yo, leave out of this town. Get out of this town. Tell your parents. Just make up some fucking just make up some that some kids have been putting your school bag and in the toilet and just pissing on it every day, and you just can't hack it anymore." So I'm a geeker. You should listen to a geeker. And he basically just told the kid that, and he gets a skateboard. A skateboard rolls down back at the house that they're at, and basically says won't be there for him either. So he goes to the fun house. He follows this kid into basically a maze of mirrors, and he comes across the kid and Gabe's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So then Pennywise also appears behind one of the glasses, and Pennywise, he puts that 5 head to good use. He has like bricks up there or some shit because he starts bashing his head against the window so much to the point where it's nearly completely shattered, but then he just does one last little smile and then smashes through and chomps down on the kid. So we go back to the group. They're at the well house. They're ready to fucking fiddle with Pennywise for the last time. They're gonna do this shit, and they're gonna do this shit tonight. So basically shit starts going wrong immediately because Ben's stomach, words start to form on his stomach because Pennywise thought it was a blank page of paper and he thought he could become an author. So the group basically gets separated with Ben, Mike, and Beverly in one room, and Richie, Eddie, and Bill in one room. And then the fridge in Richie's room starts spazzing out, and it opens up to reveal a pretzeled body of Stanley, who's in the fridge, and the head of Stan basically screams at them, and then it rolls onto the ground until it stops, and basically he says to Bill, "Oh, it's because of you I died. It's because of you I cut myself. I just fucking hated you so much. You just driven me to insanity." So he basically just grows insect legs, and he basically starts sculling all around the group. Eddie doesn't really do much, to be honest. None of them really do much during this time. They all just start freaking out. Eddie just kicks the head, and then when it hops onto the windowsill to give Bill a nice out smooch, and Bill just sort of bonks it off the windowsill. And then Richie goes to check up on Eddie to see, if Eddie's gone, because he's sort of just standing there in the corner, like traumatized, like he just got touched by his dad or something. So Richie goes to check on Eddie, and saliva starts dripping from the mouth. They're in the monster house now because it's starting to get hungry. So they look up. It's the head up in the ceiling. So the head jumps onto Richie, and it tries to bite him, but then Bill is also trying to get it off, but he can't. This head has like a fucking bowling ball for a brain or some shit because they just can't seem to get it off of Richie. So Bill's there telling Eddie, grab the knife. Can you be fucking useful and grab the knife, you scared piece of shit? So then he doesn't. Eddie actually has a secret plan where he wants all of them to die. So then Ben actually grabs the knife and he stabs the head multiple times. So then the group are getting deeper into the sewers. They're getting closer to Pennywise is there, and then Eddie ends up hearing a voice from the sewers like, "Beth, hey, I'm back. You just haven't seen me while I've been living in the sewers. And I do smell of shit, but you're still my little girl, right?" So then she turns around, then she turns back around to the group, and then out of nowhere, the big fucking deflated titty monster just comes out of the water, grabs her, and then pulls her under. And then Eddie, he doesn't really do anything, he just sort of stays there, and the rest of the group go under to drown themselves as well because they're sick of Eddie's bullshit. They pull Beverly back out. So then they climb down the hole of an old pirate ship, and basically they're in Pennywise's near this time. Okay, so this time they've walked through several miles of shit and piss to get to this big fat ass clown's lair. So they're there, and they're basically all holding hands because they're all fucking gay and in love with each other and they're about to fuck. And basically Mike is doing the ritual of chode, and it's kind of working because the deadlights, they're going down into his grandma's ashes in the vase, and then Mike puts the lid on, but he didn't really put it on properly. He should have just slapped it on. What the fuck are you doing? Actually put it on. Fucking hammer that down with the hammer. Make sure it's on there firm and tight. So then a balloon just starts growing out of the vase, and basically it bursts, and they're in the darkness, and then one of them shines a light on Pennywise, and he should have just jumps to it. Like, I got you. I did get you. You have to admit, I did make you, make your pants brown. So, basically, Mike has been lying to the whole group this whole fucking time. He said that the ritual should work on it before, they managed to put him back in the vase. It didn't do shit. Pennywise turned him into shredded paper. But Mikey over here believes, oh yeah, it's because they didn't believe. Yeah, bro, it's definitely because they didn't believe. So then, shit just starts to go wrong. Pennywise fucking charges up his bone arm, his big boner weapon, and then he tries to go for Mike. Mike is actually just standing there, accepting his fate. He actually just wanted, this secret just was a suicide mission for him. He just wanted to go out in a bang. So then Bill pushes him out the way for some reason. To be honest, I would just let bro go, just see ya, bro. You lied. This is what you get. But no, I'm kidding. Anyways, they're just running away, and fucking Pennywise slams down on the fucking ground because his arm turned into a big fire hose, and the group basically gets separated. Bill jumps through his gap in the stone, and he ends up in water, and then he tries to swim up, but then there's ice above him or something because he can't get out. He sees a gap in the water where he can swim out to, so he starts swimming towards that, and then he ends up in his basement. So then Richie and Eddie are still out in the main lair of Pennywise, and Pennywise notices them, so Pennywise chases them, and it's like in this big, really alleyway, so Pennywise can't fit through, even though he could just shape-shift into Slenderman and just like shove a bunch of tentacles up their asshole. But anyway, he's running. Richie and Eddie are running into this alleyway. They're running to a dead end while being chased by one of Pennywise's leech snake worm arm thing, and it basically tries to get him, but then it can't anymore. They come across the scary doors. Oh, not scary, very scary, not scary at all. So meanwhile, Bev and Ben are also trapped in a dead end. They ended up going to a. They ended up basically just ended up at dead end, and the ground starts to shake about. There's about to be an earthquake, but then two doorways open, and one of them sucks Ben in, the other sucks Bev in. Meanwhile, basically Ben ends up at like his old base that he built back in the first movie, and Bev also ends up back at the bathroom. So it's like, what's our biggest fear? Diarrhea. What's this Mary supposed to represent when she couldn't stop shitting herself? So then we cut back to Richie and Eddie, and they're at this scary door. So Eddie tries to do a big brain move, because in the first movie he tried to go for a not scary at all door, but then it showed him some hanging corpse with no legs, so he goes for the very scary. But he also forgot this is Pennywise. He can pretty much manipulate what comes through the door any way he feels like, so it really doesn't matter which door you open, it's still going to show you something terrifying. So he opens his door, and it shows the most scariest, the most terrifying thing in existence. A little fucking Shih Tzu or a little terrier or whatever. It's like, fucking send that thing flying. So they're thinking they're on their toes for this one, because they're thinking, this thing's definitely a monster. Like Richie even says, I know what you are, you shithead. So basically they're trying to test this monster. Richie tells it to sit, and the dog sits. Now and then they get relieved by this. To be honest, personally, I'd probably just be a little bit scared, because why the fuck is a dog listening to you when it doesn't know you at all? That's something's up. So then, a moment of relief, and everything seems to be gone. But then out of nowhere, the dog turns into like this big skeletal dog thing, like the Thing actually, and it tries to go for him, but Richie just closes the door. So we go back to Bill, who's in the flooded basement, and young Bill walks down. And Bill tells him, we didn't make as a writer. We're stuck working at McDonald's. I'm sorry, future me really did disappoint you, didn't he? But anyways, Bill walks down the stairs, and basically it's a conversation between Bill and Georgie, because now Georgie's appeared out of nowhere, and Georgie's basically blaming Bill, saying, I died because of you. I died because your fat ass wanted to stay at home watching regular show, stuffing yourself with Doritos and Mountain Dew, instead of coming outside with me in this bum-ass weather to play with my shitty-ass paper boat that you made. So basically Bill says, it is my fault, I'm sorry. And then Bill grabs... Bill turns around, and then he turns around again. He has his fucking hand off Georgie's asshole. Like, Georgie's his meat puppet now. So, Georgie turns around, his face is all monstrous now. And he basically grabs Georgie and just drowns him underneath water. Meanwhile, with Bev and Ben, Ben's inside of his little home base, and it starts filling up like an hourglass, because dirt starts to seep in and shit. It starts to fill up. He's about to get suffocated to death. So then Bev is in her cubicle, and then random ass people just keep bashing on her door. They just really want to see her shitting. And it's just random ass people, and then the blood starts to fill up in the cubicle. And then one of the people is her dad, and basically he asks her, are you still my little girl? Just open up this door, please. Open up this door, I just want to talk to you. And she's like, no. So she kicks the door so hard, it literally chops his fingers off. So we get back to Ben, who's basically, he's kind of fucked now, because it's getting really to the point where he actually might just suffocate. So then Pennywise just appears at the top of the building and basically just rage baits him. I swear, this whole movie, Pennywise has been like the outer galactic rage baiter of the century, because he's just been shitting on them, just making him feel like shit instead of scaring him, I swear. So then he basically just starts saying to Ben, you're just all those workouts, all those sit-ups, and you're still a fat tub of shit who can't stop munching on an super-sized tub of Ben & Jerry's, and you'll always die alone. So he basically just closes the door on him. Meanwhile, Bev is going to drown in like cranberry juice. So she tries kicking the door open, trying to free herself, and she eventually does. She kicks it open, and she basically it got to a point where the cubicle is like upside down now or some shit, and she kicks the door open and she manages to grab, and then she sees Ben in the getting drowned by dirt. So she grabs Ben, and then they pulls on her, and then they pulls on him, and then they're back at Pennywise's lair. So meanwhile, we get back to Bill, who's holding his future self at gunpoint, thinking, "Lad, you're an idiot. You're just gonna." You're literally killing yourself right now. So Bill basically tries to shoot him with the car gun, but does absolutely nothing. I don't know, bro, just forgot to reload it. And then current Bill takes it and he's thinking, yeah, let me show you how it's done. I have experience massacring goats. So he basically takes it, shoots him in the head. So we see Mike. He sees Ben. He sees Bill on the ground because Bill also managed to escape and get back to the lair. So basically, they're all back at the lair. So Mike, he wasn't really doing anything all this time. He's just sort of hiding behind like a acorn shell or whatever. So he hops out of hiding. Pennywise is there as well. He wraps him up, and Mike says, "I know what you are." And then Pennywise, "Hey, back at you, buddy. I know what you are." So he basically goes to chomp down on him, but then out of nowhere, Richie lobs a fucking rock at Pennywise because he thinks it's Henry Bowers and it's the rock fight. Get your head out of the gutter and lock the fuck in, man. We're not playing games, so stop throwing pebbles and whip out the blicky and shoot him instead. So then basically Richie thinks since he's a comedian in this film, he thinks he can get away with insulting Pennywise. So he's thinking, "Oh, you're a slob, you're an ugly bitch, yippee-ki-yay." Pennywise literally makes him fent tweak. He puts him in a trance. He literally releases the deadlifts. But then Eddie has a fence spike that Bev had earlier on and handed it to Eddie and basically told him, "Yo, if you believe this can kill it, it will kill it." So Eddie just tries his hardest to believe, "I'm gonna shove this up the clown's asshole." So he throws that spike through Pennywise's head, and it actually works. He starts choking on that shit. Pennywise falls back onto a spike. I'm pretty sure he tries to shrink a little bit, but then Eddie goes to check up on Richie and he goes to celebrate. He's pumped and he's excited. He's like, "Yo, look, I killed him. I killed him. I killed him." But then he gets pumped by Pennywise because Pennywise puts his spike inside of him, and then Pennywise is the least serious motherfucker because right after he stabbed Eddie, he starts waving his body around like it's a fucking Barbie doll or some shit. Pennywise is literally treating Eddie like he's just a little girl who just got her Barbie playhouse set on Christmas Day. And he basically just throws Eddie aside like a side character. The rest of the group go on to check the Eddie, and they're basically in like this cave, separated from the rest of the tavern, and Pennywise is trying to fucking claw him, trying to bash him, trying to get his way in. They go out the other side way, and now that I look back on this movie, and after watching Moist Cookie's review on the movie, holy shit. This is the most Looney Tunes as Scooby-Doo as fucking SpongeBob way the group had tried to sneak up on Pennywise. They go out they get trapped in this cave. Ben finds a passage leading out of the cave. They go out and there's an exit leading out of the cave. It's literally like a couple of feet from where they went in, and then they're all walking, and then out of nowhere, Pennywise just sees him. Pennywise spent so long just scratching on the fucking thing, and I swear this guy is omniscient. He's supposed to know everything, but no, he barely saw them. He had to the only reason he saw him is because Bill was caught lacking. So he tries to go after him. So basically, he tries to go after the Losers Club because they're all trying to run out of the cabin because they basically came up with the idea is like, if we go into small space, Pennywise is gonna have to shrink his cock, and he's gonna have to go small as well. So then we could just crush him and turn him into a splat. So Pennywise runs towards the entrance, basically blocks the entrance, fat ass, and then it looks like the group is fucked now. Yeah, they come up with probably the most goofiest, worst way to defeat a movie villain I've ever seen in cinema. They basically start shitting on him. I'm not even kidding. This outer galactic being, this big ass fucking a creature that's from the Macroverse, gets defeated because they say that, "Oh, we're not scared of you. You're just a clown. You're a bitch. You're a poopy head. You have no V-Bucks." And then that basically ends up turning Pennywise into a deflated condom, where Mike goes up to him, shoves his hand down his fucking chest, rips his heart out, and then altogether the Losers Club crushes his heart. And that's how Pennywise died. I don't know. I feel like, I thought the movie was pretty solid until that bit. I just feel like that was a bit of a shitty way for Pennywise to die. But anyways, yeah, that was me doing It Chapter 2. See you later.